The crash had torn a scar across the northern valley, a streak of scorched earth and twisted metal that stretched for nearly a kilometer. Ranger Marcus Chen had seen plenty of wreckage in his 12 years patrolling the outer colonies, but nothing like this. The escape pod was of draconian design, sleek, organic curves that seemed to breathe even in their broken state. He approached cautiously, pulse rifle ready. The Draconians were one of the oldest species in the Galactic Council, proud and ancient, with scales that could deflect plasma bolts and wings that could carry them through the thinnest atmospheres. They rarely crashed. They rarely failed at anything. Inside the pod, she lay crumpled against the pilot's seat, golden scales dulled with ash and blood. One wing hung at an unnatural angle, the delicate membrane torn in 3 places. Her breathing was shallow, and when Marcus activated his scanner, the readout made him wince. Internal injuries, severe dehydration, and something else, neurotoxin in her bloodstream. "Hey," he said softly, holstering his weapon. "I'm going to help you." Her eyes, brilliant amber with vertical slits, flickered open. She tried to speak but only managed a weak hiss. Marcus had seen that look before, in wounded soldiers and desperate refugees. It was the look of someone who had given up. But humans were stubborn about things like that. He worked for 6 hours straight, using every piece of medical equipment in his ranger kit. The emergency stasis gel to stabilize her wing, the broad-spectrum antitoxin that would work on most carbon-based life forms, the synthetic blood plasma that kept her heart beating while her own system fought to recover. When he finally sat back, exhausted, the twin suns were setting over the valley, painting everything in shades of amber and gold. She woke 3 days later in his station, a modest prefab structure built into the mountainside. Marcus was at his desk reviewing patrol reports when he heard her move. "You should rest," he said without turning around. "Your wing needs at least another week before you put any weight on it." "Why did you save me?" Her voice was like wind chimes, melodic even in its weakness. "Humans and Draconians are not allies." Marcus finally turned to face her. "We're not enemies either. Not anymore. The war ended 40 years ago," Marcus interrupted gently. "Before I was born. Before most humans or Draconians alive today even cared about the reasons it started." She studied him with those ancient eyes, and Marcus felt the weight of her gaze. Draconians could live for centuries. This woman might have fought in that war herself, might have killed humans with those same claws that now trembled with weakness. "My name is Sarath," she said finally. "I was fleeing the Combine when my ship was damaged. I am grateful for your aid, human, Marcus, and you're welcome to stay until you're healed." The days turned into weeks. Sarath's wing mended slowly, the membrane knitting itself back together with an iridescence that caught the light like oil on water. She watched Marcus work, repairing weather sensors, cataloging geological samples, maintaining the solar arrays that powered the station. She noticed things he thought he'd hidden well, the way he flinched at sudden sounds, the nightmares that woke him gasping in the dark, the bottle of sedatives he kept in his desk drawer but never took. "You are damaged too," she observed one evening as they shared a meal. Marcus had learned to prepare protein cultures that suited her metabolism, and she had grown fond of the human habit of eating together. "Old injury," Marcus said, touching his left side unconsciously. "Shrapnel from a pirate raid 3 years ago. Healed fine." "I did not mean your body, Marcus Chen." He set down his fork, jaw tight. "I'm fine. You are alone on a mountain, monitoring equipment that could be automated in a sector where nothing of importance happens. You are not fine. You are hiding." Marcus stood abruptly, walking to the viewport. Below, the valley stretched out in twilight shadows. "My squad was killed in a Combine ambush. I was supposed to be there. I was delayed. Got drunk the night before, missed the transport. 15 good people died because I wasn't there to watch their backs." Sarath rose, her wing fully extended now, proud and beautiful even in the station's dim light. She crossed to him with surprising grace. "Among my people," she said quietly, "there is a saying. The survivor's burden is not guilt, but purpose. You were not meant to die with them, Marcus. Perhaps you were meant to be here in this valley on this day, to pull a dying Draconian from a crashed pod. That's convenient philosophy. It is truth." She placed a clawed hand on his shoulder, gentle despite its power. "I could leave now. My wing is healed. I could call for extraction and be gone by morning." "Why don't you?" Because you saved my life when our peoples would have called it foolish. Because you tend to this lonely place with dedication despite your pain. Because... She paused, searching for words in a language not her own. Because hearts also need time to mend. And I am suited for such work. Marcus turned to face her, seeing not the ancient warrior or the proud draconian, but simply Sereth. I don't need charity. This is not charity, Marcus Chen, this is choice. My choice. Among draconians we believe in life debts, yes. But we also believe in recognizing when two damaged souls might help each other become whole again. She extended her wing slightly. A gesture he'd learned meant openness, trust. Let me stay. Not as your patient, but as your friend. This valley is large enough for two guardians. Marcus felt something crack inside his chest. Not breaking, but opening. For the first time in 3 years, the weight on his shoulders felt bearable. I'd like that, he said quietly. Outside, the stars were emerging, human constellations and draconian ones sharing the same sky. In the silence of the mountain station, two souls from different worlds began the slow work of healing together, proving that sometimes the greatest strength was not in standing alone, but in accepting the help of someone who understood what it meant to fall and to rise again. The outer colonies would continue their quiet vigil. But in one small station in one forgotten valley, humanity and its old enemy had found something neither expected: hope, companionship, and the courage to face tomorrow, together.